All right, welcome back, guys, to Ep.3 of the Inside the Lines podcast. My name is Chase Stanley. I'm joined by Thomas Burbank and Marcos Abell. We will be giving you all the sports news and updates. Not a lot going on this week, but let's hop right into it. We had the NBA All-Star Game this weekend. Steph Curry had 50 points, 16 threes. That's a record for the All-Star Game. I mean, all these All-Star Games are kind of a joke at this point. There's no defense played or anything. The dunk contest isn't what it used to be. Obi Toppin won. I mean, did anyone watch it? Probably not. But Karl Anthony Towns won the 3-point competition.
Ooh.
Big men showing out. So, but other than that,
The LeBron fadeaway for the win
yeah.
in Cleveland.
So let's talk about the All-Star Game. Did either of you guys watch it?
I did.
I did not watch the All-Star Game.
All right,
So
what did you think, Thomas?
It was 160 to 163. LeBron with the fadeaway. I mean, yes, it was an all offensive battle. They just kept passing it to Curry because he was making it from ridiculous range. Like literally, the arc was crazy. He would look away. One of the greatest shooters of all time, and I still can't play with him on 2K.
He is the greatest shooter of all time. You can't. When he had 2 3-pointers where he just completely did what he does and completely turned around, wasn't even looking at it. I thought the one where against Trae Young was really cool. He pump fake Trae Young, took it, turned around, looked at Trae, and it went in. And I thought that was cool. I don't know. A couple months ago, Curry was up there in MVP voting. He's really taken a dip. Do you think he can come back in it in the second half of the year?
I don't think so. No, just the way that Jokic is playing, DeMar is playing, Embiid's playing. They're all playing at monster intensity levels right now. And Curry, he is a great shooter, but you need to work on both ends of the floor, and all three of those players are currently doing that as well. I think Curry could step it up and do it. You got to put the effort in right now. You got monster players playing right now.
I mean, I'm not putting anything past Curry, but since Klay Thompson came back, he hasn't had the same numbers, and it's just having another star out there. It's nothing against him. He's not playing terrible right now. I think he is playing a little bit worse overall in terms of shooting percentage, but I think he'll be fine. The team's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Warriors are looking kind of scary.
And worse isn't an understatement. We're just saying that he's just not shooting the greatest that he has been playing. I'm not saying Curry yet.
Some other news. Apparently, LeBron James's agents are unhappy with the Lakers for not trading Russell Westbrook for John Wall. What do you think about that?
Well, currently Russell Westbrook is now a 79 in 2K, which is some of the lowest he's been since a rookie, which is kind of crazy.
That means a lot.
That's not great. That's not great. I think if I was in that position, I maybe would have traded for John Wall, but we haven't seen John Wall play in a little bit. Where is John Wall currently?
Houston.
He's in Houston, so Westbrook would go back to Houston. I didn't see the greatest fit there. I don't know if Westbrook liked it in Houston anyway.
I don't think it's about the fit for Westbrook. At this point, Westbrook's just got to play wherever he gets put because he's proven that he is a liability to any team that he's on. Yeah. I think he needs to grow up and realize that he's not a star anymore. Like Carmelo Anthony went through the same thing. He was almost out of the league. Nobody wanted him. He went to Portland and he found his way back in, and now he's one of the better players on the Lakers because he knows his role. He's not trying to do too much. I don't know about John Wall though. I mean, John Wall has not been good.
No.
I think he tore his ACL a couple years ago, and ever since then, he just has not been the same.
He tore him, falling down the stairs or something like that.
But would I take John Wall never being available or Russell Westbrook, who you can't deny he tries his hardest every time. Like he's hustling out there. He's a liability, but like I'd rather have someone who's available that's gonna go out there and try his best. John Wall, we just have no clue if he's even going to be good. But apparently that's what LeBron wanted because LeBron James' agents wanted them to trade Russell Westbrook and a future first for John Wall, and the Lakers didn't. No. And now both sides are unhappy. That
Okay, Lakers don't have draft picks. Let me
yeah,
just
I
say
don't
that.
think that's a smart idea, but
No.
they didn't do it. So I think LeBron is trying to overmanage at this point. I think he realized that he kind of messed up with the Westbrook signing, and he's trying to find a way to scramble back because he knows he only has a couple of years left. I think at this point he has to leave the GMing to the GMs.
Yeah.
He's not helping himself.
And with
He
Davis down as well, I mean,
he
you're
got
just
rid of
losing
all the
another
young
guy.
talent.
Yeah.
He got rid of all the young talent on the Lakers, and he went for veterans that he thought he could trust in big situations. And when they were in the bubble and didn't have to like travel anywhere and they could all get their rest, they were great. But
Hmm.
when they haven't been in the bubble, LeBron's Lakers have never been good.
No.
So more
Oh, they
LeBron
won a
James,
championship.
though.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
it was in the bubble after they
It was
had
in the
the
bubble.
biggest break of their NBA careers.
Hmm.
So more LeBron James, though, he has said that he would leave the Lakers to join his son's team in a couple of years. I mean, there's no telling what team he's going to go to at this point. He's only a junior in high school, but
This is
could be
huge. Like, if
interesting.
he does do this, if Bronny, his son, who would be the draft prospect, if he did get signed to a team or drafted by another team, you're taking LeBron in 3 years. He may be still good or whatever, but that's still you're basically getting a first round rookie for 5 years and LeBron James. That is insane, and I don't know if the NBA should technically allow that. I know there's no rule against it, but it's just like saying, "Oh, I'm going to go to this team just because this one person's on there." And I know
I
people do that
mean,
all the time anyway.
there's no
I
reason not
yeah,
to allow it. That's like
I,
what
I,
Yeah, plus
that's
I
like
mean,
what
it's not like
building a super team
yeah,
is. They've been
yeah.
like
But it's weird because if you draft a guy, you're basically getting another guy for free in a way.
yeah,
yeah, which
but
is
I mean,
going to increase Bronny's stock price and get him paid more. LeBron's being smart about it.
I think it's crazy to me though. It's just I don't
Marcus,
know.
what do you think?
well, Bronny. Plus, I mean, Bronny's not being viewed as like the top prospect of the draft. Like he's viewed as like a lower first round pick, probably not top 10 currently. So I mean,
Still
like
have
it's
three
not like you're
years.
getting the best like player in the draft and then LeBron. You're getting a player who's a first round talent, and you're getting a 40-year-old LeBron James.
Yeah,
So I
but
mean, like,
with a promise like that, I could see his draft stock definitely going up
Mm-hmm.
to top 10. He
Yeah.
could be a
yeah,
lot.
I would agree with that.
I think he's going to be a lottery pick because there's going to be a team that's like, listen, we're not very good right now, but if we could have Bronny, who has a lot of potential, and LeBron James on our team next year, like that could turn our team around. The only thing is, I'm worried about for that franchise that he's gonna try to do the same thing he just did with the Lakers and
Mm-hmm.
get rid of all their young talent and bring in guys that just can't do it anymore.
What team do you think Bronny, like right now, if you had to say a team that Bronny would get drafted by, what team do you think?
It's way
Just
too early
randomly.
to
It's
tell.
so hard to
I
say
know
It's
it's
gonna
way
be
too early. That's the
because we
point.
don't even know what team's going to be drafting in the lottery
I
yeah,
in
say
3
Houston.
years.
I'm gonna go Houston.
Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone on Twitter say they thought it was going to be the Warriors and Steph, LeBron, and Bronny would all be on the same team.
There,
That would be crazy.
That
that
would
would
be
be
crazy.
crazy.
Um, any more NBA news? I don't think we have
No,
a
no.
lot going on. I mean, it's All Star Weekend, so not too much we can really talk about.
Celtics lost to the Pistons by one, snapping our win streak. So
Yeah,
Were
I
they
mean,
like on an
who cares?
eight
Yeah,
game win streak, 9 game win streak?
yeah,
I think it was a 9 game win streak. I don't know. Um, got some NFL stuff. We're gonna do a little experiment here. We're gonna go into starting with an NFL team, and we're gonna be the GM of that team. Say what we would do if we were the GMs of that team, and see how it goes. We're gonna do a new team every week, uh, and since we are from New England, we will be starting with the Patriots. Um, Patriots big needs this offseason. Obviously, wide receiver has not been a strong suit. Bill Belichick cannot draft a wide receiver. He's no longer in charge of drafting, so that might help. But and then linebacker, we're going to need something like that. I was thinking in free agency, I really think Allen Robinson is a good fit for
100%.
free agent
mm-hmm.
because the past couple of years he has gotten so many targets, and then this year he got like half the amount of targets. For whatever reason, I don't know what the coaches didn't see in him, but his price is at an all-time low right now for he could be a top 10 quality wide receiver. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of film on Allen Robinson, so I don't know. Maybe he had a terrible season, but when you're not getting the targets, you're not going to put up the numbers. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he has a lot of potential. I think honestly, a sleeper that nobody's talking about, Chris Godwin could be a good signing for the Patriots too.
Yeah.
Nobody's really talked about it for the Patriots, I don't think, but I could see them signing Chris Godwin. In terms of their free agents, I think if you can get Devin McCourty cheap, might as well re-sign him. He only has a couple of years left, so maybe just do a 1-year deal if you can't find any other safeties. I think you got to part ways with Dante Hightower at this point. He's a shell of himself after he took a year off and he's getting up there in age. I see him retiring sometime soon, and he isn't a huge help to this linebacker core. Either tag or sign J.C. Jackson. That's something that you have to do. James White is another one that's kind of interesting. We could use a receiving back because we do like to have the running back by committee, but our two young running backs, I just don't see a need for him if we can spend the money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He was having a really good year before he went down, though. So bringing him
Yeah,
back
no,
would be wasting his
he's
world.
still solid. I mean, if we can get him for the right price, I have no problem with getting James White back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just those two young running backs. If we can spend the money elsewhere in the wide receiver department or in the linebacker department, I think that could be someone that we part ways with. Slater might be retiring. Some people have said, and the last one for the Patriots I want to talk about is the Jacoby Myers is also a free agent. I think we can sign him for the right number.
Yeah.
He's been the heart and soul of that receiving group. I mean, he's not the most talented guy, but if we have him as a fallback option for Mac Jones, I don't want him as our number one receiver, but if he's like a number 3 guy on our team, I'll take that all day.
He's putting in the effort, and it's clearly being shown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
It's nice to just have that.
He stated like earlier, right after the end of the season when they lost to the Bills in the playoffs, that he really wants to stay with this team. So I'm sure we can get him for a pretty cheap deal. Because I would love to have him back next year. Him and Kendrick Bourne is like the 2 or 3 behind. Hopefully, we draft somebody. Allen Robinson would be a pretty scary duo, scary receiving group, honestly.
Yeah. In terms of the draft, I don't know a ton about draft prospects. The Patriots are in a position that they could get one of these top 5 wide receivers. It's a loaded wide receiver class. I was looking at Chris Olave. I think that's a good fit for the Patriots. I think he'll be a good guy to bring in if we can sign one of those free agents like Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin. I think he'd be good to bring in as a second option, get him adjusted to the league, and I see a lot of potential with him. I have seen a couple of his college games. I'm not as up to date on the other guys, but if we can't get him in the first round, I think we have to go linebacker. Not necessarily just him, but like if we can't get one of those top guys, I think we have to go linebacker because our linebacker core is going to be the weakness of this defense if we don't get somebody. And if you look at the free agent department, I mean, there's Von Miller, Chandler Jones. Like for linebackers, it's kind of scarce this year, and those two guys are good, but we're not kind of trying to sign a 32-year-old linebacker. We need the future of this linebacker core.
Plus,
Agreed.
This year is looking like a pretty deep linebacker class. There's a couple of really good guys come out of Georgia who just had one of the best defenses in, I mean, I can't say how many years for college football. So if one of those guys is available, I'd prefer a receiver, but there's definitely some good options at linebacker. Plus, with Cameron McGrone, 5th-round pick from last year who sat all year from injury, they think he might have some potential to help fill that role of Dante Hightower. So hopefully him combined with somebody we bring in this offseason can really bring some speed back to that linebacker group.
Yeah, I agree. the linebacker cores in the NFL today are there's so many people that can do like dual threat, like pass rushing and
Mm-hmm.
coverage and stuff like that, and I just don't think the Patriots have that right now. Dante Hightower's never really been a coverage guy as well. Like, and now that he's slowing down, he's kind of can't do anything in coverage, really. So
Yeah.
that's he's someone that I think we have to part ways with, obviously. But to get a young, faster linebacker in there, I think that's really important for us because, and we can't really do it in the free agent market. Wide receiver, I think if we get one of these free agent wide receivers, I'd honestly rather take a linebacker with that first pick
Mm-hmm.
because this free agent class for linebackers that I'm looking at right now, there's just no options really. I mean, Anthony
Ain't looking
Barr
too
maybe.
spicy. Ooh, Anthony. Yes, sir.
Anthony Barr is
I
still
don't know who he
29 though.
is. I don't know who he is, if I'm going
He's
to be honest.
Yeah, I'd agree with
he's
the
he's good, but
linebackers.
he's 29. Maybe Hassan Reddick, but like I don't think.
He had a pretty good year this year. He
No,
put up
Hassan.
some good
he's
stats.
definitely good. He's definitely good, but I just don't see these guys being guys that we can get. I don't think we'll get these free agent linebackers really. I think we have to do it in the draft.
Then
Well,
let's do it
plus,
in the draft.
I feel like receiver is a pretty deep position when it comes to the draft, especially like in the first couple rounds. Like we can afford to go and get a linebacker and then get a guy maybe like John Mechie, who already has a connection with Mac Jones in the second or third round, to put behind like Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin, and it would probably be the same as drafting a receiver in the first round.
Yeah. Well, this is a good year for our needs to be wide receiver and linebacker because it's a very deep draft for both of those. And in terms of the free agents for wide receivers, there's good wide receiver free agents. I could see us getting one of these linebackers maybe to like bring in a veteran, but I just don't think it's the smart move for this linebacker core. Um, honestly, those are the only two positions I'm worried about right now. We need to get Mac Jones some weapons. I think re-signing Trent Brown is probably something that we should do. I mean, he's not the best right tackle in the league, but he does the job. When he was starting, our O line was good. So I'm not too worried about the O line. Defense is pretty good if we can get back some of the core guys and get a linebacker, and if we can get Mac Jones some weapons, I think we're looking at a good team if he can. If Mac Jones can really step up in year two.
Yeah, I'd also throw cornerback in there because I mean, other than J.C. Jackson, I mean Jonathan Jones was doing good before injury, but Jalen Mills, I just don't think should be the cornerback two on that defense. Especially if they franchise tag J.C. Jackson and don't give him an actual contract. I feel like corner in the first 3 rounds is definitely a necessity.
Yeah, I think we really saw that too. That maybe in these later rounds we should be focusing on cornerback. Is uh, in that playoff game we didn't have nearly any of our corners, and we got screwed because our
Yeah.
depth at cornerback is just not non-existent. So maybe if we draft a couple corners in the later rounds just to have back there some people that we can trust if these people go down, maybe get one guy that is a suitable starter over Jalen Mills. And then we have Jalen Mills coming off the bench, who he's not the worst.
No.
If we had him coming off the bench in case of injury, that's like best case scenario.
Yeah, I
So
honestly, Jalen Mills is one of those players where like you don't want him as the starter, but having him as the first guy, like next man up, is a really good position to be in.
yeah,
Especially with all these teams having like more and more receiver talent. Like it's not just about having that number one guy. It's about having like one or two or three guys that can just like go everywhere on the field. So I feel like it's gonna be the same with cornerbacks because you need those guys to guard those receivers.
yeah. All right, that's pretty much it for the Patriots next season. Looking on, um, I think that's pretty good. We'll try to do one of those every episode. Next week, we'll figure out another team to do, whichever team is most interesting, and move on from there. Uh, more on the NFL, I think Marcos has a game for us to play now.
I do. I have 2 games actually. Which do we want to start with? We can do
It's a good one.
either the playoff game or the QB carousel game.
Whew, QB
Oh, their
carousel sounds
names.
interesting.
It does.
The
Yeah.
QB carousel is I'm going to name a team and a quarterback, and you tell me if they should look for a new quarterback this offseason or they should stick with the guy they have for next season.
Gotcha.
Let's start with that one.
All right. So just let me know when you guys ready. I can start
I'm good.
rattling these names off.
Ready.
All right. So, should the New York Giants stick with Daniel Jones as their quarterback
No.
next season?
No.
I would
No.
also say no.
No.
I think Russell Wilson's a good fit for the
I
Giants.
love
honestly.
Russell
I
Wilson
want
to New York.
yes.
That feels
And
like
his
a
wife,
for me.
his wife would love to go to New York City instead of Seattle.
Plus, I mean, like, I love Kenny Galladay. It's kind of fantasy bias from like 2 seasons ago, but I mean, he was really good with Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a solid year the year before, so I feel like he could be really.
Daniel Jones is so clearly not it.
I don't know.
I want DJ out of there.
Hey, we can maybe next episode we'll be the GM of the Giants and figure that out.
All right.
That'd be a long episode.
Should the Lions keep Jared Goff for the 2023 season? 2022.
Yes. Yeah.
I would agree with yes. I think they definitely
so.
need to rebuild their team a little bit more before looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, I think teams in that situation right now need to look at all these teams that are building a great roster and then having these big quarterbacks come. Like Matt Stafford just left the Lions to a team that had a great roster. I mean, quarterback, if you can get all the other stuff, Jared Goff's a suitable quarterback for the next couple of years to win you a couple games, get you back in it, and maybe you can get a new quarterback in a couple of years.
I know for a fact, I know the next team Marcus is going to say. It's the Jets, isn't it?
No. I don't know. I didn't put any guys that were
Why the
rookies
Jets?
this year. I just left that.
I thought he was just going to go with the
No,
Jets.
obviously the Jets are staying with
Yeah,
Zach Wilson.
I didn't put any rookie quarterbacks on this list because I feel like you need to give a guy at least 2 years.
Okay.
But so the next one then, coming from saying that, should the Eagles stick with Jalen Hurts for next year?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I would also agree yes on that.
Oh,
I think he actually had a pretty
nasty.
good year.
I think
could end up
a
being
lot of people are
sleeper
underrating him
across
because
the
his deep ball isn't very pretty, but he doesn't make big mistakes. He drives the ball down the field, and he led that team to the playoffs. So stick with him until you find a better option, but I don't think there's a better option this year.
No.
All right. Should the Browns stick with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback for 2022?
Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll say give him one more year.
I think for this year, I think they stick with him. I don't think they should give him a contract or anything, but I mean, I don't see what else they would do this upcoming year, so I think they have to stick.
I'd agree
and
with that.
and with all his injuries this year, he did have one. His rookie year, he was pretty good. He was bad his second year. He had one good year, and with all these injuries, it's possible that he could bring them back to the playoffs. So I would let him have a injury-free season and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think if they have a chance at somehow acquiring like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, that's the like Deshaun Watson. Other than that,
I don't think they do though.
We're talking about.
I don't think
like,
they have the ability to
start
do that.
quarterback.
I think
But if
all
they do, I
all
think
these
they
teams,
would.
if they
Other
had
than
a
that,
chance
they would
to,
stay. Yeah.
all these teams, if they
Yeah.
had a chance to get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, they would.
They'd
do
throw
it,
everything at him. Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Should the Colts stick with Carson Wentz for 2022?
I think they should. I don't think they will, but I think they should. He didn't play that bad looking at his stats. He played a lot better than he did with the Eagles his last year. I don't really see a problem with it, and I don't know who they would have the ability to go get if they didn't have Carson Wentz.
I would also agree. I think they should keep Carson Wentz. I don't think any quarterback right now also wants to go to Indiana, if I'm going to be honest. So.
Yeah, I think they probably will stick with him. I think they should anyway. I mean, they should have made the playoffs this year. They should have beat the Jags in week 18. And then if they had beat the Jags, they would have made the playoffs. I think they probably would have knocked off whatever team they played. So
see the problem with that, the only problem with Carson Wentz is pretty much the opposite about what I said with Jalen Hurts, is that Carson Wentz does make the big mistake, and that's like pretty much his only problem, is that he makes the big mistake.
Yeah. The only issue with our quarterback is he just messes up a lot. It's fine.
He doesn't mess up. No, he doesn't even mess. Like, look at his stats from last year. He doesn't mess up a lot.
No,
he doesn't mess up a lot. But when he messes up, it's important.
It's bad.
Okay.
He has some really bad plays on film this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not clutch, but
Yeah. But
He's
I'd
not.
say stick with him for this year.
yeah.
All right.
Stick him.
Should the Dolphins stick with Tua Tagovailoa this year?
I think they should do everything they can to get Deshaun Watson.
I'd agree with that.
And if they don't, yeah, so I stick with him unless you can get Deshaun Watson. But it's just because I don't really see another option for them right now.
Yeah.
Plus,
If
with
the Dolphins had
Flores
another
leaving,
option,
I don't
then
know
yeah.
if there's going to be that much mutual interest between the Dolphins and Deshaun
I think
Watson.
a better question for Miami is should they try to stick with him long term, which is 100% no. They need to find a better quarterback than him.
I'd agree with that.
I think for the next 2 years you stick with Tua and then you try to find something else.
Yeah, I think
Unless you can get Deshaun Watson this year.
Unless,
True.
yeah.
All right. Should the Vikings stick with Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Same
like him.
exact answer as the Dolphins.
That's what I was
For me.
going to say.
Same exact
I really
answer.
want to
If you
see
could get
Deshaun Watson on the Vikings. Like really
Deshaun Watson on the Vikings with Justin Jefferson would be lethal.
Oh, it'd be nasty.
What that would
The
be
the
is
numbers
you've
that
got a
Justin
contender
Jefferson is
there.
putting up with an average quarterback.
I'm
If you
putting
got
it
him
out
a
here right
quarterback,
now. If Deshaun Watson goes to the Vikings, Justin Jefferson will be the best receiver in the league next year. Or when if
Oh,
it
I
ever
agree.
happens.
I agree.
He'll have the
But
best stats.
you can't. With Kirk Cousins, is so hard for me because like
Yeah.
you're not gonna win a Super Bowl with him, but he's not like he's
Awful.
good enough that you
Like,
should
yeah.
keep him.
I mean, they've been like a 500 team pretty much every like 500
There's more-
playoffs.
there's
every
more
year they've been
problems-
their quarterback.
Mhm.
There's more concerning problems with the Minnesota Vikings than Kirk Cousins right now.
Yes, I would agree.
I'd agree. Plus, I mean, with the whole new coaching GM staff, you don't know like maybe coaching was the problem, and now they'll end up winning a ton of games.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Should the Falcons stick with Matt Ryan?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would stick with him for this year. I think honestly what they're gonna do, I think they should have drafted a quarterback last year if they were gonna move on from him, and at this point I think they're just gonna wait for him to retire because I don't think they have any other options at this point.
I
Yeah.
agree with I agree with Chase. I don't like Matt Ryan anymore. I think he's old and he shouldn't play in the NFL no more. That's just me. But yeah, I think Matt
I
Ryan
hate him and he should leave.
Yeah, everyone. Okay. Yeah.
No, I feel like it's the same like talk as like Kirk Cousins, except the Falcons have like a way worse roster.
True.
I
Like,
think
they
Kirk
just have
Cousins
too
is
many
better than
problems.
Matt
Like,
Ryan.
it's like the same way that it was with Stafford and like Detroit.
Yep.
Like they have a couple of good players, but they're just nowhere close right now.
Are you comparing Kirk Cousins to Matt Ryan?
I was actually comparing Kirk Cousins to Matt Ryan. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah.
All right. Should the Panthers stick with Sam Darnold / Cam Newton?
No.
No.
No,
I just
they
don't
need
think-
to find something else.
No.
I don't know what they're
I
gonna
think
do though. I feel like
Teddy Bridgewater was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold and
Yeah.
Cam Newton. They should have. I mean, I really thought Sam Darnold was going to do something good.
I thought
with
he
the
was gonna actually be okay. And he
Panthers.
just wasn't.
He looked good the first 2 weeks. I don't know what happened.
He had something, and then
I don't know.
the Darnold
It's a
effect.
shame.
Like I was really happy for the Panthers because I thought they were gonna actually be.
He
Like,
he makes it. He makes some throws that are like this guy could be really good, and then he's just not.
It just.
It's unfortunate.
He's not clutch.
And then the last one: should the Titans stick with Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah, for this year, it's another one of those situations where like, if you can get one of the big guys, yeah, but Tannehill's been. I mean, he led them to the number 1 seed this year. They like.
Yeah.
You can't really be talking about getting rid of a quarterback that let. I know they lost to the Bengals, but the Bengals went to the Super Bowl and they had Joe Burrow. You don't have Joe Burrow, but you went and got the number 1 seed, so he's good enough for what they're trying to do. And if you have Derrick Henry the whole season, I mean, it's a different story.
Nasty. Yeah.
Derrick Henry wasn't really himself when he came back. He didn't have a insane game.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an extra one for you. For the Buccaneers, do you stick with Blaine Gabbert at quarterback, or do you
I
try to
think you
get
do.
someone else?
I think Blaine Gabbert is the next Tom Brady, and I think you need to stick with him.
Yep.
Honestly,
Blaine
like I
Gabbert.
wouldn't. Kyle Trask starting for a year wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, like obviously you want a different guy, but
Yeah.
like what's going on with the Buccaneers? Like, what are they gonna do in like a year or two when their roster falls apart? Like,
I think they're gonna just do the same thing they did with Brady and try to get a big quarterback to come to them.
I would agree. I think that's probably just what they're gonna do until the rest of their roster fizzles out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they've probably got what like maybe 2-3 years until they're like out of win now mode. And
Yeah.
they're just
No,
like
they're.
nothing. Because most of their
I
key
mean,
players were
next
like
if
veterans.
they can't get one of these big quarterbacks in the next year or maybe two, their Super
Mm-hmm.
Bowl window's over. I think it's already over because I don't think they will get one of those guys. But
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'd agree with that. I mean,
Are we
they
playing Marcus's second game?
yeah.
do you want to play
Ooh.
them back to back, or do we want to talk about some other topics between?
I mean, do we really have any other topics? There's not a lot going on in sports right
I
now.
mean,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
can
one
talk
other
about
thing
the
we could
Olympic medal
mention.
count.
The-
I'll
Spit
talk
it
about the
out.
Olympics.
Well,
Okay,
while you
for
look that up,
I
Brian
already have
Flores,
it. Oh,
Brian
Brian
Flores.
Flores to the
I
Steelers.
think that's a very enticing move, like as in like to get Aaron Rodgers. I think that definitely helps them
Yeah.
in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. I think that personally, I think it puts them above the Broncos based on like the divisions. Because I feel like with the AFC West, all three of the other teams are going to be really good. Whereas like in the AFC North, I mean,
I
obviously they're all good teams, but I feel like the AFC West is a little bit more dangerous. Even though, bro, you
also
could just make a Super Bowl.
freaking TJ Watt with Brian Flores as his linebackers
He's gonna
coach
be
now.
insane, and he gets
A lot
Minka
of people are saying
Fitzpatrick back.
Devin Bush could become good now. I disagree, but I've seen people say that he could bring out the best in Devin Bush. Devin Bush was a disappointment.
Yeah,
so the Olympic medal count.
There you
The
go. All right.
Olympics have ended. Norway in first with 37 medals, 16 first, 8 and 13. Then Germany, China, USA in fourth place with 8 gold, 10 silver, 7 bronze with a total of 25, and there were a total of, I believe, 27 nations, or at least that's what it looks like here.
All
So
right.
good job, Team USA.
Congratulations to Norway.
Mm-hmm.
You got us, but Summer Olympics are our thing, so we'll be
True.
right back.
Yeah.
All right. Let's end it off with the last game by Marcos, and we'll call it a day.
All right, so we got 5 rounds. Basically, I'm just going to list off stats compared to 2 quarterbacks. So for quarterbacks, the stats we're going to be going off of are playoff win percentage, pass yards per game, completion percentage, touchdowns per game, and passer rating. Because those are all like per
Okay.
game basis. Because I feel like it'd be unfair to judge people based on how many playoff games they played. Because
All right.
Matt Stafford is like one example.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start it off here. All right, so player A has a 56.3 playoff win percentage, 236 yards per game, a 61% completion percentage, 1.6 touchdowns per game, and a 95.3 passer rating. And player B has a 50% playoff win percentage, 286 yards per game, 65.4% completion percentage, 2.3 touchdowns per game, and 106.6 passer rating. Did you get all that? Do you need me to keep going?
No, I got it.
So are these currently playing?
These are both active NFL quarterbacks.
All right. So I would take quarterback B. Who do I think quarterback B? Thomas, you pick while I try to think of who.
I mean, I also am going with quarterback B, lower win percentage, more touchdowns, higher passer rating, higher QB rating. Okay, 50%.
Man, the playoffs is tough.
Bro, yeah.
Um,
They're
I'm gonna
currently
go with.
okay. God damn.
Also,
I have
just
no
like a
idea,
little
bro.
bit of an extra
Give us
added
a
in.
hint.
All of these
No.
quarterbacks have played multiple like postseasons. But
Okay.
I will give you a hint for player B. He has not won a Super Bowl,
Has
whereas
not won a Super Bowl.
player A has won a Super Bowl. So I'll give you like if they've won one or not, but I'm not going to give you like how
Okay.
many or like how many times they've been there because that's just
Player B is Lamar.
Chase. What's your guess?
I don't think player B is Lamar. I'm gonna go with player B is Jared Goff.
All right, so you both got it wrong. Player B was in fact Josh Allen, and
I
player
just
A was Russell Wilson.
I had no idea for that one.
Okay. All right.
I
All
said
right.
Jared Goff
Next
because
round.
I thought it would be a really funny one if you threw Jared Goff in
Yeah,
there.
no, yeah. For the active ones, they're all like general consensus top 10 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Just like there's somebody that you would view as like a good quarterback.
Okay.
All right. So the next one are also two active NFL players. Player A has a 52.4% playoff win percentage, 268 pass yards per game, a 64.7% completion percentage, 2.1 touchdowns per game, and 100.1 passer rating. And then player B has a 57% playoff win percentage, 299 yards per game, 66.9% completion percentage, 1.8 touchdowns per game, and a 99 passer rating.
Who did you say player A was for the first round?
The first one was
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, and then Josh Allen was player B.
All right.
I like player B. I'm gonna go with player B.
I'm also gonna take player B.
Now, who do I think they are?
For playoffs.
Oh my god, playoffs, the offs.
Is this Patrick Mahomes?
I haven't made my guess.
My guess
For
is
A or
Patrick
B?
Mahomes.
For B.
Thomas, what's your guess?
For B.
Mine will be. I want to go with Patrick Mahomes as well.
All right, you were both wrong. Player B is Matt Stafford, and that includes 3 playoff games where he lost on the Lions. So even like adding in the Lions games, he had a pretty good stat
Okay,
line.
and
player A was Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not great at this game.
Yeah, it's hard with the playoff quarterbacks because it's like their entire careers and not just like a season.
Plus, it's kind of interesting to look at like how much lower. I mean, like when you think about it, like 1 maybe 2 averaging touchdowns per game. Like a lot of these guys are under 2 touchdowns per game. So, all right, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna do a head coaching comparison.
Right.
So both these guys have only been head coaches for like less than 10 years, so they're both like kind of young. So the stat lines we're going off of are playoff win percentage, and then just Super Bowl appearances and conference championship appearances. So Coach A has a 70% playoff win percentage, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 conference championship appearances. And then Coach B has a 66.7% playoff win percentage with 1 Super Bowl appearance and 2 conference championship appearances.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Coach A. Conference championship appearances. I think Coach A is Sean McVay. Thomas.
2 Super Bowl appearances though, with A. Okay.
Thomas,
A.
both these head coaches have only been head coaches for like less than 10 years.
Oh, okay. I know Coach B. I think I know who Coach B is, but I don't know who Coach A is.
What's your guess for Coach B?
I think Coach B is the 49ers coach.
Okay, so you were both right. Coach A was Sean McVay. Coach B was Kyle Shanahan. I
Attaboy,
wanted to
Thomas.
do like Hall of Fame
There-
level
wait.
head coaches, but like
Thomas,
Bill
which one
Belichick
did
compared to
you say
everybody.
you would rather have though?
I said A, but
So
I didn't
we'll
know
give-
who
Thomas
A
only gets half a
was.
point.
We'll give him half a point.
What are
We'll
you
give him half a
talking
point.
about, dude? I got that. No,
That's what the
I
rules
got
were
it.
from last game.
Oh.
The rules are to go with the guy that you guess.
Yeah.
So
I
Chase is
pick
up by
B.
a half point.
I
Yep.
pick B.
No, you can't. You can't
go
change it
back
now.
on it. Also,
You
like,
can't
why
go
would
back.
you? Because like they're
Watch
pretty
the film
identical,
from
but
last
McVay is,
episode.
Like, obviously better.
Oh,
Watch the
God.
film from last episode. That's the
Dude,
rules.
I was-
We're not just making it up right now.
I was the one who made the rules. I was giving the half points and stuff. Like,
You got to follow your
okay,
own
whatever.
rules. You're
Yeah,
already
whatever.
down by half a point with two more rounds left to go.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right. So we got another quarterback comparison. So quarterback A has a 74.5% playoff win percentage, 277 yards per game, a 62.8% completion percentage, 1.8 touchdowns per game, and a 90.4 passer rating.
90 what?
0.4.
90.4.
Player B has a 72.7% playoff win percentage, 307 pass yards per game, 66.2% completion percentage, 2.5 touchdowns per game, and 105.7 passer rating.
Patrick Mahomes, B.
I think I'm gonna pick B, and I think it's Patrick Mahomes, and I think A is Joe Burrow.
All right. B was Patrick Mahomes. Player A was Tom Brady. So you both get a point.
That's Tom Brady.
Yep.
Damn, Tom Brady sucks, bro.
He does. I mean, like, he's really bad. He's a really bad quarterback.
He's terrible.
Also, like,
So
Mahomes,
it's 2 points to 1.5 points.
Yeah. You got one round. You got one round.
All right.
So
all right.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. Those are. I mean, the stats,
Double the
like,
points this round.
No.
We can double. We'll double.
What?
We're not
No.
double the points. We've never doubled the points before.
What?
Let's
We-
come
we've
on.
Never, we've never done
What?
that before.
Thomas, why? You don't need the points doubled
Yeah,
to
you-
win.
You just need
Just
to
in
get one
case.
right.
Just in case.
All right. So, just a hint before, both these quarterbacks retired from the NFL within the last 10 years.
Jesus.
So, like, from 10
Okay.
years, all the way up to, like, today, just, like, in that time frame.
All right.
You win.
Quarterback A has a... Thomas, do you not know quarterbacks from, like,
Let's-
that have
all right,
retired in
let's
the
go.
last, like...
Let's.
Quarterback A has a 51.8% playoff win percentage, 272 yards per game, 63.2% completion percentage, 1.5 touchdowns per game, and an 87.4% passer rating. Quarterback B has a 66.7% playoff win percentage, 235 yards per game, 60.5 completion percentage, 1.5 touchdowns per game, and an 87.4 passer rating.
They're both 87.4.
They're both
passer rating?
87.4 and they're both 1.5 touchdowns per game.
1.5.
I looked at it twice to make sure.
All
We
right.
did discount double check. I mean,
All right. Actually, I got this one. I got this on lock. I'm going with player B because of the winning, and I think player B is Eli Manning and player A is Peyton Manning.
dude, I cap you not. I was thinking the Manning brothers as well. I was also gonna go with B, and I'll go.
You have to guess
Peyton.
someone different. You have to go guess someone different if you want to win.
Bro, but that's what I think.
It does. Okay, then you lose if that's what you think.
Dang.
Like,
Okay, wait.
We'll go on record that that's what you actually think. But if
Okay.
you want to win, guess someone else.
One of them is Andrew Luck, and the other one will be. God, I have to go Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck.
Okay. Chase was right, by the way. It was Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. I just thought it was interesting that they had pretty similar passer ratings. And
Wait, which one was which though?
Oh my God.
You got it right too. Eli Manning
All
had
right.
the higher win percentage.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm kind of pissed about that. I thought I might throw you guys for a loop because I figured that you wouldn't think that Eli Manning would have like the same like quarterback stats as like Peyton Manning. but I guess it just didn't happen.
No, well, once I saw how low the passing yards were for the guy with the higher win percentage, that's immediately what I thought.
Oh yeah,
Bro, I literally thought of the Eli Payton brother. I swear.
Yeah, I know. We know you did.
okay,
That's
yeah,
what
but
you
like
said.
even if
You
you did and said it,
know.
like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I know, I
because you
still
both would've
lost.
gotten
I'm
it.
just
you
like,
still lost.
yeah.
All right,
Next week, Chase
that was
is doing
fun.
the game.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of the game next week, so I'll figure that out. But there's another episode of Inside the Lines. Thank you guys for joining. We'll have the link to our Instagram and Twitter in the description, as well as our TikTok. Thank you guys for watching.